The only thing I know about sound is doing sound checks for my dad's band. And basically my goal was to make sure you could hear the bass. Can you guess which instrument my dad played?
No. The tambourine.
Sure.
Okay.
And the bass.
It makes me really happy that your dad has bands.
Yeah. It's pretty entertaining.
Does he still band?
Yes. Him and my uncle still band.
Aw.
It's kind of cute.
That is adorable.
Balding / gray men in their 50s playing.
Is it just the two of them?
No, they have
okay.
other members of their band, but it's consistently always the two of them.
What genre?
Like covers, like 70s, 80s rock covers. Some country, because my dad was in a country band in Wyoming. I know, once again, shocking.
Like the most country / Wyoming thing you can say.
No, the band he was in Wyoming, they had a guy who played the fiddle and everything, man.
Oh, shit.
Like, they used to play, like, big fancy, like, the one oil refinery. Once again, Wyoming.
Yeah.
The one oil refinery would bring up their executives to a big barbecue and hayride and drunken shenanigans.
I was gonna say, you're hurting me with the Wyoming.
Yes, at the Hereford Ranch.
It's so Wyoming, it hurts.
Yeah, and they would play a gig in an old barn. I think that was the first time I remember seeing drunk people.
Huh. You were how old?
8 to 10. Maybe 11.
Okay.
Well, we haven't recorded this bitch in a long time.
I bought a memory card for my phone, and here it is.
Sweet.
Still in its package.
Pretty. So that we can make more time-lapse cooking videos.
And other time-lapse. I just imagine all the things we could probably do. I don't know.
We could time-lapse our parlor beating.
Oh, God. Because we do that now.
Yeah, we have problems.
Yeah, we're
That's
like...
why we can't make podcasts.
We're like 5 and also 82 at the same time. I guess if you average it out, we're in our 30s.
Sure.
That wasn't math, but don't check it.
Seems close.
Uh-huh.
I'm fine with it.
What do you want to start with?
Well, we had another glorious windstorm.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we did. It didn't ransack the trailer park as bad, though.
Not as bad. There was still some damage.
No evictions? God.
There was a tree on someone's house, though.
Evacuations.
Yeah, we were not evacuated. There were no gas line breaks.
I have COVID brain and I can't think of words anymore. It took me 10 minutes to remember the word selfish earlier.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Yeah, so ignore my word
Shellfish.
vomit. I'm a little crab. I'm shellfish.
So that was fun. So day of the windstorm. I'm gonna work from home. I don't feel good. I probably drank too much that night.
No.
The night before. So I don't feel good. Didn't get good sleep. I get up, and I was gonna work from home that day anyway, because that's an option for me right now. And then I couldn't get logged in because there was no power at work. I had power at my house, but remote login. Couldn't get in at work. So I hung out for about an hour.
I had blocked that out completely because while she was working from home, I was at work. In the dark. Did I tell you I set up a campfire in the supply room?
I think, yeah, you did.
Yeah, I made lanterns out of flashlights and the cleaner bottles, and then I put my little battery-powered candle on the floor, and then those of us in the supply room pretended we were camping. And then the power came back on.
Seance.
Oh, damn it. You know, Lisa would have totally been down with that.
Lisa would have been down with that.
Ugh, shit. If only I knew then what I know now.
You would have offended some others, though.
Oh, God. Well, screw them.
But you're offended by them and their baby Jesus picture, so it's fine.
Oh, baby Jesus is no longer on the wall.
Oh, praise baby Jesus. Praise Odin.
6 pounds, 9 ounces in his golden fleece diaper.
Yes. He was a man. He had a beard.
Her, the tinsel is still hanging up, though. So, first we took down the words. Now we have taken down the picture. But the Christmas decorations are lingering, and it is February. Ooh, do you think we're going to be forced to make Valentine's bags again? Because it's the 3rd, and we haven't been told to make Valentine's bags yet. Because we're grown-ass adults.
I'm not very festive, first of all. And second of all, I do want Valentine's from my coworkers.
If she does that this year, I'm straight bringing my bag home, spray painting it black, and just writing my name on it in white. That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put a glittery unicorn sticker on it.
Yeah, I'm tired of the morale boosting activities that don't in fact boost morale.
What about wanting to go to that one state park for a skill building activity?
Team building.
Day? Oh,
team building.
I'm sorry.
We're not in couples retreat. We're not going to couples skill building.
That would probably be more fun.
Probably, as long as there weren't people from work there.
Well, I was going to say you and I could just go hide and get drunk in the bushes.
Hike to the waterfall or something.
Yeah, that's the only skill building we need.
Mm-hmm.
God, team building. Die. Anyway.
Okay, we should probably get back to the windstorm.
Yeah, windstorm.
So day of the windstorm, I'm working from home. I work for a little bit, and then I go outside because there's things on my porch, and I'm trying to kind of gather them when the wind slows for a minute, because it, like, blew hard all day long.
Yeah, it blew hard.
It did.
But real talk, I think the sustained wind was like 45 to 55 with gusts that ranged up into the 70s miles per hour.
It was insane. So I'm doing something outside, and I'm walking towards the back of my trailer, and I'm like, I can usually see the corner of the shed by now. The shed is not on its foundation any longer.
There is a foundation and contents without a shed?
Yes. Like, the whole contents of the shed, like, with the exception of a sign, was all still right where it was before the shed got blown into the neighboring trailer's yard, where I believe it remains to this day.
Well, tell them about the trailer neighboring you.
Okay, so the trailer neighboring me has been empty for probably like 2.5 years.
I was going to say, I've never seen anybody there.
Yeah, no, so. I mean, like, we moved in, we've been there about 3 years. So, a little past 3 years. So, it's probably honestly been 3 years since someone's lived there. Because someone lived there the first couple months we were there. I don't even think they were there because we moved in November, and I don't think they were even there the whole winter. And it's been empty ever since.
Do you think somebody died in there?
No, I don't think anyone died in that one.
Not that one, just the
not
one
that one.
Two doors down on the other side.
Well, I mean, there's a couple trailers people have died in. But anyway.
And then they sell for way too much.
Yeah. So, I think that people that drive by think that that shed is just part of that trailer because the siding's blowing off of it, and no one has said anything to us.
Oh, I bet there's all kinds of mice and shit up in the insulation since it's exposed.
Well, and it has a big opening under the skirting. I am sure there are cats doing things under there.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I haven't seen kittens yet.
They might be controlling the mouse population.
Maybe. Well, and that's the thing, like, I've never noticed, like, we haven't had mice, like, the whole time that I've lived here. And I think it's because there's so many outdoor cats. Don't want to call them feral, because I don't know if they're feral.
No, my house cat is feral.
They're outdoor cats. And I think they keep a good handle on the
Well, because when we were redoing the floor in here, like, we found mouse shit and stuff under the floor. So, like, I know we're, like, trees.
Right.
It used to be more of a woods before they ripped all the trees down over there and built more apartments than I've ever seen in my fucking life.
There's so many. It's like, okay, so North Spokane has some real big apartment complexes. I feel like it's as big as some of those real big apartment complexes.
Right. And they're still putting buildings up.
Yeah,
like,
it's freaking huge.
Oh, and they're working, like, 24/7, bigly, or something. Because, like, they're out there right now with headlamps on. Hammering and shit. And
yeah, I've been laying in bed before. And, I mean, I'm old. I go to bed early. But, like, I've heard hammering when I'm laying in bed at, like, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And, I mean, I guess at least they're not using power tools.
Yeah, well, I think they got shut down because of COVID or something. And are just so behind schedule or some shit. Like,
I feel like some of them was probably the crew that was doing the senior apartments. And then I think they got behind on those.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like they stopped all work on the not senior apartments.
The affordable living.
It says affordable. Someone posted on one of the Facebook groups that they were low income. I don't think they're low income. For one, they have, like, a clubhouse.
Yeah.
Low income apartments don't come with clubhouses, people. They might be, like, income adjusted.
Unless they don't have laundry inside every apartment, and then the clubhouse is also a laundry room.
Yeah, but I think a lot of, like, when I lived in an apartment in Coeur d'Alene, they had a laundry room in each building.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it looks like a big fancy clubhouse to me, more than
We might have to
a laundry
do
facility.
investigations.
We might have to do some recon.
I could fly my drone over there.
Oh, yeah, you
But
could.
I have to do that in the daylight. It gets angry at night.
Does it?
It's like, can't find the ground, blah!
Oh, I locked myself out of my house during the windstorm. I didn't tell that part of the story. So then I locked myself out because I'm freaking out that our shed's gone. I had called my significant other and told him that the shed was gone. And I texted him. I sent a picture message to him. And so I call him, and he doesn't answer his extension. So I'm like, well, crap, this is kind of an emergency. So I called the main Kenworth number. Maybe I shouldn't say where he works. I call his work's main number, and a nice lady who answers the main number, I say, hey, I'm so-and-so's wife. I'm calling I need to talk to him. She's like, oh yeah, I'll transfer you. So then she transfers me to, I'm not sure where, it's the parts department. I think she transfers me to. So then another guy answers. I'm like, you don't know, you can't. Well, and then here's the thing. If she transferred me to his extension, he probably wouldn't have answered again.
Right.
So this one guy answers. I was like, hey, this is Sean's wife. I need to talk to him, So he goes, and apparently,
Oh, no.
I think he's one of the people that my significant other doesn't care for. I don't remember his name. But anyway, apparently he goes up to him and starts pulling on his shirt.
Like a 5-year-old?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sean. Your wife's on the phone. And he's like, I'll call her back. And he's like, no, I think it's important. Which, I mean, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Because, at that point, I'm kind of freaking out.
Because you're locked out.
Right. Well, I wasn't locked out yet.
Okay.
So this was before. He tells me he's coming home. So I go out there to look to see if there's anything I can pick up. I go back up to my front door. It's locked. I locked myself out. So then I'm like, well, crap. I wonder, I hope my car's unlocked. My car was unlocked. So I get in the car and I start digging around because at some point my dad thought he needed to show me how to break into my own house with a credit card. Not sure why he thought I needed to know that, but I did. So, and I did need to know it. So it's fine.
Did you succeed?
No.
Oh.
No, I couldn't find. So I found, I'll go through the things I found. I found a 7-Eleven rewards, just the keychain card. Not the full-size card, just the little keychain one. I'm like, maybe.
It's not enough cards.
So I tried that. Didn't work. And then I found a Starbucks gift card, but it was one of the little ones that's shaped like a cup.
Ah.
Also, they make those out of cardboard now.
Yeah.
Not plastic.
Nope.
That didn't work. Well, then I found a hair clip in my car. I don't know whose it was. It looked like one of my mom's. So sorry, Mom, I broke your hair clip. That also didn't work. So then I walked to Diana's house, and I'm on her porch. I know where her spare key is, but her significant other is home sleeping during the day. I'm like, this is the last thing, that needs to happen, is for him to wake up and find me just chilling in his living room.
Well, spoiler to a future story, you'll only get shot if I'm home.
Well, right, that is true. I probably won't get shot if Bry's home. Or whatever his name may be.
Yep.
And so, I don't do that. I'm like, well... And luckily I had put on real shoes. I wasn't in my fancy slippers.
I mean, the mental image is better if you're in your fancy slippers.
Right. Well, I definitely think I needed $70 slippers for Christmas, okay?
You did.
Not gonna feel guilty. I didn't buy them. They were a gift.
You needed them.
I definitely think I needed them. Mm-hmm. So I had on, actual shoes. And I'm in my pajamas. I'm in pajama pants and a Kenworth sweatshirt. Oversized. My hair's, on top of my head in the hideous bun I sleep in. And so I'm like, well, I guess I'll walk around the corner to my mom's house. My mom's house is never locked, mind you. This day, it is locked up tighter than Fort Knox. Front door's locked. I'm pretty sure they boarded over the side door to the garage, because that didn't even have any way. There was no way I was getting in that door. So then I checked the sliding door to the basement. No, even my 18-year-old brother remembered to put a stick in the sliding door. Because that's his room now. Well, and then I was kind of hoping someone was home, Mm-hmm. I was hoping he was home because, COVID, school. I don't know. I didn't know if he would. I just didn't know. So then I go to their upstairs back door off the deck, Also locked. It has a dog door, but my parents' dog is a Shih Tzu. So I didn't think I was going to fit through that. And I wasn't going to try. Because, mind you, I don't have my cell phone. I locked my cell phone in the house. So Sean tells me I think he tells me he's on his way, like, right after I've locked myself out. And so on my watch, I reply, sounds good! Because that's one of the automatic replies. So I go back home, and I just sit in my car because there's nothing else I can do. But I'm sitting there watching these trees go back and forth going, oh, please don't fall on my car while I'm in here. And that's why I went to my parents' house. I was like, this doesn't feel safe sitting in my car. And I mean, you've got big trees around your house. I don't think I would have been much safer in your house than in my car. So then I'm like, well, he's got about a 35, depending on traffic, 35-minute drive home by the time he actually, leaves work. And so I sat in my car till he got home. And then he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I locked myself out. And then we hauled most of the things that were in the shed to storage.
I went to work in the dark that day. But on my way to work, so I took a different exit than I normally take because I was just like, okay, which way do I have to drive by the fewest trees? I'm like, if I take 4th Street, like, you end up downtown and there's trees, right?
Yeah. Well, and, like, when I went to work 2 days later, there was still a big one over 3rd Street.
Yeah. And then I'm like, if I take government, real big trees. So I took...
Ooh, speaking of government. Do you think any of the trees uprooted any of the graves?
I tried really hard to see if they did, like, that day, because, I went on a walk with somebody because we had no power, and then we had no internet, so I couldn't do my fucking job anyway. So we went on a walk, and we were peering into the roots in the cemetery, trying to see if there were any bones. Did not see any.
I wasn't even so much, I was just wondering if, like, whole caskets were.
Well, so the trees that uprooted are in the really old part where people were buried,
in
over 100 years ago.
Yeah, and the wood caskets are gone.
Yeah, nothing would be there anymore, so... Kind of a bummer. I have problems. But, so the exit I took, I had to, drive by. There's a wastewater plant, and there's some trees, and some of them had fallen in the road, and so there was one of those road crew trucks, like, driving with the billboard with the arrow on it, telling everybody to get in the left lane, because there's still fucking trees.
Well, yeah, because, they kind of triage and just cut out a way so people can get through.
And so I'm just, like, looking out my windshield up at these trees that are, like, 90-degree angle,
bending.
The wrong 45-degree angle, like the wrong way. And I'm like talking to my mom, I'm like, well, these ones are small. If it falls on my car, I won't die, right? And so I get past the murder scene of tree death, and then I turn up the road I turn up to get to the parking lot, and there's a giant fucking tree in the road. I'm like, oh, that fell.
Why couldn't it have fallen on the building?
Be too lucky.
We're not that lucky.
They would have made me work still, I bet.
Probably.
They'd be like, don't go out the lower level door. It's hazardous.
Yeah.
But it was fun because the power company came to do the thing they do when the trees fall down, go boom. And one dude chainsawed it, and another dude was in a backhoe, and he just shoved it off the road, and then they took off, like, in and out. It was kind of funny. They're like, all right, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean,
they had a lot to do.
Yeah. Tons do. Lots of people without power for some time.
They have posted the house that ate the tree. They have posted the, like, no trespassing, condemned signs on it. I think they're going to tear it all down soon.
Well, so one person who works in an office neighboring your building, a house fell on her daughter's house.
A house fell?
No, a tree fell.
Yeah, okay.
Tree fell on her, I think it's her daughter's house. I think it's her daughter. I don't think it's her granddaughter. Anyway. Pretty sure it's her daughter. Apparently, the daughter had, like, her children and then some other kids over. Luckily, the kids were all in the basement. But the tree, like, fell in the kitchen. I guess had her daughter not, like, gotten to the corner, like, it would have, like, killed her. So, windstorms are no joke. People, they can kill you.
They're scary.
Well, trees can kill you when they fall from the windstorm.
Yeah. But this time it ransacked downtown... other town, not our trailer park, so that was...
Yeah, I mean, there was a little damage in the trailer park, but I think, like, the really shitty trees fell last time in the park.
You know, I'm still gonna be pissed if they don't remove my trees and then one of them falls. Because it does this funny thing in the wintertime sometimes where it's above freezing and rains a lot. And where we live, the ground is made of sand because we're in a big valley of a river bed.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when sand gets saturated with water and there's tree roots? They don't get held in anymore.
They just uproot.
So these 80-foot tall ponderosa pines uproot themselves and fall, and it's terrifying to watch. Because we watched it last time.
Yes, we did.
It makes a sound.
It does make a sound.
So we survived.
Yes, yes. Should we move on to your more recent trailer park experience?
You mean the time I almost shot somebody?
Yes, that time.
So, paint a little picture. I'm dead ass asleep on Friday night at like 2:30 in the morning.
As you do.
I am awoken from my slumber by this like pounding sound. And at first I think my significant other, because we have like, we don't have a deadbolt. We've got like a janky slide lock like bathroom stalls have up at the top of our front door.
Which we've learned is not effective.
No. But sometimes, like in the winter, I don't know if the house swells or shrinks or something, but sometimes you have to like hit it with something. So I thought maybe he was just hitting the lock. But then I thought I heard yelling or something, and then I heard more slamming, and I'm like, tired. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck's going on? I'm gonna have to kick some ass. I get out of bed, and he's standing in the hallway on the phone, talking to the police, and I hear...
As you do.
I just hear him say, yeah, I have no idea who he is. He's just pounding on my door and said he was gonna kick my ass. And so I'm standing there, barefoot in my pajamas, pissed off because I've been awoken, staring at him while I listen to him talk, and then I can hear that this dude's still on my porch. So I grabbed the Glock out of the bedroom, I racked one into the chamber, and I stood around the corner waiting for the motherfucker to break into my house because he was still trying.
Well, he was sure he had been at your house before.
So, yeah. So, before calling the police, Bri had gone into the living room and cracked the window open and been like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Who are you? And this guy's like, let me in. Fuck you. Like, I was here earlier.
Well, and we have to remember that your significant other is very polite.
Yeah.
So I doubt it was probably like, are you okay? Can I help you?
Right, he's just like, why are you pounding on...
What are you doing?
Why are you pounding on my door? I was at a party here earlier. Let me in. And he's just like, no, I don't know who you are. I have had no parties. And then he was like, I'm gonna kick your ass. So that's when he called the police because, hello, police officers, please remove the man.
Well, yeah, the fuckhead's not leaving.
Right, and I guess it sounded like he was, like, knocking stuff over and, like, throwing shit on our porch. And he was pounding on the door so hard that the magnets on the back of it fell on the floor. And our little slidey lock that's oh so secure, yeah, it just kind of comes undone when you pound on the door.
That's fun news.
So don't find out where I live and do that, because I'll shoot you. But we've learned that in the presence of danger, I grabbed the gun. I think Bri thought I was actually going to go outside and confront him. I'm like, no, if he comes into my house...
No, you always wait till they come in.
Right, he's got... I'm going to say, get the fuck out of my house, point the gun at him, and he's got 3 seconds, and if he takes a step towards me, there's going to be a mess to clean up. I wonder if my insurance covers that.
I don't know.
Because trailer insurance is very different than home insurance.
I'm not sure. Something to look into.
Can
the police show up.
Yeah, so the cops show up, which I'm standing... I don't have my finger on the trigger, but I have it, like, right there where, like, you're ready to raise, aim, and shoot.
You're ready, but you're safe about it.
I'm, like, creeping into the living room, because I don't know at this point it's just a drunk dude. I think there's some homeless tweaker or something out there. And the only thing that stops homeless tweakers... when they're tweaking... Bullets or police officers, and sometimes police officers' bullets. So, I'm like, okay, is he still out there? I'm like creeping, so I get into my kitchen, and I look out the window, and I see the police are there. And I'm like, oh, sweet, the cops are here. Like, I kind of relax. He's still on my porch, because he's, like, knocking on the door still. Not pounding, just knocking. And I'm like, okay, fucking shit. Because the cops, you could tell, they're like, okay, which house is it? And then they heard a noise, and... I just hear this, hey, why don't you come down here and talk to us? No, man, I'm just trying to get into, this is my house. Like, at first he said it was his house.
You're like, no.
And then they were just like, no, man, I don't think this is your house. The people who live here called us, because you're kind of freaking them out. And he was, like, still kind of arguing. He's like, well, I mean, it's not my house, it's my buddy's house. Oh, and God. They finally get him off the porch and are talking to him, like, they make him sit on the bumper of the cop car and all that. And one of the officers knocks on our door, and he's just like, so you don't have any idea who this guy is. And we're both just like, never seen him before in my life. And he was kind of like asking, like, he almost was like, what the hell? Like, seriously? I'm like, no, really, no idea who the fuck that is. So then, after that interaction, I go outside because I have to find out who this fucker is.
Mm-hmm.
And he is so drunk that, I mean, how far away is Tonasket?
Tonasket probably a good 3-hour car drive.
Right, so the officer asks
I will
him...
Google while you finish while you continue your
The
story.
officer asks him, you know, like, where his vehicle is, because he's just on foot. There's no vehicle anywhere nearby that looks like his. And he goes, well, my truck's in Tonasket. Is that where you're from? Yeah. And then he says something about another vehicle, and then the officer says, okay, well, how did you get here? My truck. And the officer
3
says...
3 hours and 34 minutes to Tonasket from here.
And the officer goes, your truck that's in Tonasket? Yeah. That's how you got here. Yeah. Your truck is in Tonasket, though. Yep. Like, bro? Like, he's gone.
I have been drunk.
Right.
I have been blacked out.
Right. But this guy is standing up and he's coherent. Like, he's speaking coherently. But he just has no fucking idea. Like, did somebody drug him? But he got off easy because...
Do they drug people at Capone's now?
Is Capone's even open that late?
No.
I don't feel like that's a hangout bar. And
I don't think they're open until... I think they're only open until, like, 11, 10, 11, maybe.
I think if somebody was getting that trash, they'd call the police or somebody to come get rid of him.
Well, I definitely think Capone's would stop serving him.
Right. So,
because they charge enough for their drinks that they don't have to keep serving you.
Oh, yeah. But, like, they gave him an easy way out because they were just like, well, man, do you know where you need to go? He has no idea, so they took him to a hotel because he had his wallet and everything, and, they made sure he didn't have any warrants. But then I can't just help but think, like, so dude's gonna wake up in the morning or afternoon the next day in a hotel and have no fucking idea, probably, that any of this happened.
I wonder if he was... I can't help but wonder if he was staying in a motel before all of this.
I don't know.
Because the closest thing, really, to our park that someone from out of town would come from would be that motel.
Right. And if he didn't come from Capone's, which I don't think he did, between 2 and 3 in the morning...
Well, we saw those footprints the next day.
Like he could have walked a very far distance. So who knows where this house that he was actually at a party is?
Yeah. Or.
Oh, yeah.
And your interaction with the neighbors.
There's more. Oh, it was in the middle of the night.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
In
yeah.
the middle of the night when you interacted with the neighbors.
So our neighbor comes home, and his wife is outside, and equally kind of like frazzled looking. And so we're talking to them, and apparently he was pounding on their door. And she as well grabbed the gun, as you do, I guess, in the trailer park. And yeah, he was like banging, making a mess, yelling and stuff. And I guess they also called the police, and 4 cops showed up. But yeah, they also had no idea who this motherfucker is. Yeah, so like, dude is lucky he didn't bust into either of our houses, because we probably would have shot him, which is our damn... Second Amendment given right, I don't know. In Idaho, you can shoot people if they break into your house and are threatening you. Anyway, yeah, so he didn't actually break anything, so we didn't, want charges pressed or whatever. I think they should have cited him for disturbing the peace, because he disturbed my peace. And then I was awake at 3 in the fucking morning. He should have at least gotten cited for disturbing the peace, I think.
He should have. I think...
In all fairness, I guess I don't know if he wasn't. I just know he wasn't arrested.
And here's the thing, though. I think you would have had to have signed a signed a citation against him. Yeah. Especially if you wanted him arrested.
Yeah.
I think the officers could have cited him. Luckily for him, I guess. Yeah. Maybe not so luckily for everyone else. Sometimes it probably benefits other people, but our local police department is pretty darn reasonable. Yeah. And they would way rather find, like, in a situation like that where, I mean, he scared the living shit out of a couple people, but he didn't, like...
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he broke that mirror you guys were going to throw out, but...
Right. So he's getting 7 years of bad luck.
Right. So, you know, like, really, do we really need to arrest this guy who's probably here from out of town and leaving tomorrow? Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's kind of risky taking him to a hotel if he's that wasted, because you don't know what he's going to do.
Well, right.
He may have benefited being in the drunk tank.
Yeah. Would he have caught the COVID in the drunk tank, though?
He probably would have given them the COVID. He was not wearing a mask while beating down my door.
Very strange.
I mean, I'm not going to get the COVID again yet, so... Or is bad, I'm still fuzzy on how the antibodies work. Because it's not immunity, it, like, lessens your chances of getting it, and if you get it, you're less likely to get really... I don't know. Respond to this email immediately if you want the vaccine.
In other news, I quit drinking wine. I did not quit drinking.
No.
Well,
she switched boozes.
I switched booze, and I've been limiting myself. Because I really think, like, I don't want to say, like, I was developing a problem. But alcohol was causing me problems. I was not sleeping good. I was having 4 or 5 glasses of wine in a night. I rarely felt intoxicated. And there's probably some expert somewhere who's going to listen to this and be like, you're a goddamn alcoholic, woman.
Alcoholics go to meetings.
Yeah, I'm just a drunk. Mm-hmm. I had an ex-boyfriend that used to say that.
Classy.
You know, he's the only ex-boyfriend that I ever wondered how things could have gone differently. I mean, I'm happy, like, I should preface that I'm happy in my current relationship. These two my current relationship and this other individual are very, very similar people. They probably weigh the same, but Sean's, you know, a foot taller.
Yeah.
Well, not quite a whole foot, but...
That'd be a little awkward.
Significant amount taller. But yeah, he used to say that he wasn't an alcoholic, he was just a drunk, because alcoholics go to meetings. But yeah, I was feeling like crap. I wasn't sleeping good. I'd wake up at like 2 a.m. with a headache. I mean, some people had just had more wine. I mean, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
So I quit drinking the wine, and I allow myself 2 drinks each night now.
She measures, too.
I measure my shot of vodka in each drink. So I put a shot of regular vodka, and I've rediscovered Fresca. Highly underrated beverage, if you ask me.
What flavor is it?
I think it's the peach citrus Fresca.
Okay.
Regular Fresca's citrusy, kind of grapefruity. I might buy some of that next time just to mix it up. But the peach Fresca is to die for.
And you're sleeping better and not
I am
having
sleeping better.
2 a.m. headaches?
I'm not waking up at 2 a.m. with headaches, and I feel like I'm not getting as sweaty when I sleep. Which is probably not anything that anyone wants to hear about.
Everybody has been asleep when intoxicated, and you have to take your clothes off because you're too hot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of your body sweating out the poison, but you don't acknowledge that.
Yeah, we're not talking about the fact that we're poisoning ourselves with my Francia box wine. Well, and I did have... So Sunday, we were at the grocery store, and my significant other's like, do you want some wine? I'm like, I haven't drank wine in like a week. And he's like, what? Apparently he's not very observant. Because I'm drinking out of my work Yeti cup. My Fresca and vodka that I'm measuring every night, but somehow he hasn't noticed that I'm not drinking wine.
Out of a wine glass?
Out of a wine glass.
Which you always drink wine out of a wine glass?
Yes! I have a problem. It needs to be the appropriate wine glass, too. I'm a bougie bitch. So I did buy, on Sunday, I bought some wine, and I had 2 glasses. I think I just had 2. I don't know, it was Sunday, I might have had 3. I mean, there was a little left that I had on Monday, so I might have had 3 on Sunday and 2 glasses on Monday night. But I still, like, even Sunday night, like, I felt kind of gross, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Like, it tastes good. It was the Ménage à Trois Rosé Bubbly. I know it's not something you would enjoy, but I loved it. But yeah, it didn't feel good. So,
yeah.
I think for now I'm off the wine.
Yeah. you might just have to for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my personality was, like, predicated on being a wino, but I'll survive, I guess.
You can just drink vodka and be a plain old drunk like me.
Well, okay,
except I'm drinking gin right now.
Oh, that gin is the bomb.
What is it, Beefeater strawberry gin?
Yes. Yes. It is so good. So we've been recording for 37 minutes. I feel like normally... And I was drinking this drink a little bit before we were recording, and I still have some left. I feel like normally at this point I'd probably be on my second or third glass of wine. Like, I think I just got to the point where the wine goes down too easy.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I first started drinking wine and was drinking, like, the drier wines that I now enjoy, I had to sip them.
Yeah.
Because their flavor's a little harsh. But now, as a seasoned wine drinker, I down that shit.
At least you're not playing slap the bag. You know, the kids these days, they play slap the bag. You take the bag out of the box, and for some reason you slap it,
well,
and then you drink
it. We could have played that when the bag fell out of the wine at Walmart that day.
It scared the living hell out of me.
I really thought it was going to explode. Like, it hit the bottom of the cart. I was like, oh, fuck. I mean, I was like, and then it didn't explode. So I'm like, well, I'm clearly not buying this one. So I gingerly lifted the box and the bag out of my cart, put them on the shelf so there's someone else's problem. Well, because here's the thing. If you hunt down an associate at Walmart to deal with that, they're going to look at you like you have 3 eyes.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be like, you came and got me for this?
Yeah. You know what my favorite game at Walmart is? You see something that's been clearly put in the wrong place, right? And you sit there and go, so you decided you didn't want the chocolate milk because you wanted the avocado?
Yeah.
You know, just like...
Decisions were made.
Item A, and a decision was made here. Sometimes they're great. Sometimes you just find empty packaging because somebody stole something, and you worked retail so long you have an eye for that. Yeah. Like when I worked at the one in the valley, I found tweaker stolen wrapper shit every day I worked.
So they'd like unpackage it.
So
did they take the time to close the box?
No, usually like in the little, the little trash cans that women can put their lady things in. So I got to the point where every time I went in the bathroom there, I would look in those. Because...
Not to see people's use tampons?
No, because when you find packaging, you're supposed to put it on the loss prevention bullshit shrink. That's what they call it.
Yes, we call it shrink.
The shrink. So
God forbid we call it theft.
Because it's well, it may have been... Fuck off, it's theft. But... I'd always just be like, here's some more. Somebody stole the same brand and style of earbuds in every color they came in. There was like 5 pack, and they weren't even expensive earbuds. They were like $16. But there's like, I'm like, oh, here's the box for the blue ones, and here's the box for the red ones, and the white ones, and the black ones. See, because then, if they don't take the packaging, it's because they want the thing. If they steal the whole thing, it's
they're
because
gonna sell it.
Because you can go to the other location and they do returns without a receipt.
Yeah.
And if it's under a certain dollar amount, they'll usually just give you cash and not a gift card.
Because that's easier.
Unless it was me and I'm an ass. But, yeah, no, I just got in the habit of seeing... So when I see these things in Walmart, I'm just like, oh, somebody stole the condoms.
Okay, so speaking of you working in retail, remember when I lived in Coeur d'Alene? And the officer had to come do the photo lineup at the duplex. For the chick that was stealing... was it some gift card? She was trying to buy gift cards on stolen debit cards.
Yes. God. Her,
man thing.
I don't think they're married anymore, but he was on the list of the things I pull at work on Monday. Again, yeah. So... I retail's stupid, and it's not hard to do a good job at it. You just have to have a brain. So when you go in a store and somebody's like, I don't understand how to give you change back, it's because they don't have a brain. Whatever. And I did it for so long, I'm fucking professional. It just makes me want to die. I hate Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I hate it too.
Work retail for a decade and you will want nothing to do with the holiday season. Anyway, so, I mean, this was not 10 years into my retail career. It was a few less, but, like, somebody's paying with a debit card and their PIN number isn't working, you look at them. Does the person look like a tweaker, yes or no? If the person looks like a sweet grandma who doesn't remember her PIN number, you overwrite it as credit.
And you tell them to run it as credit.
If it looks like fucking tweaker buying Visa gift cards, the $500 ones, and like 5 of them, and they don't remember their PIN number. I was gonna do air quotes, but there's no video to this, so just imagine it.
Air quotes.
You just say, I'm sorry, I can only sell gift cards with cash or debit with you using your PIN. And then they get mad at you. Because...
Did she have the balls to ask for a manager?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So then she leaves and I think nothing of it. And then I'm in the printing area one day and I look up and there's a cop walking.
Probably weeks later.
Yeah, there's this cop guy walking toward, but he looks a little more important than just an officer.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, why is he coming?
Like obvious detective material, right?
I'm like, why are you coming in here? Like, I don't think you need printing. And then he just asks if I am me, full name. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I have a subpoena for you. So, bitch continued to steal things poorly.
So this was this was your first interaction with the guy telling him that he had a subpoena for you.
Yeah, this is the first subpoena I got. And apparently she ended up at a hair salon across state lines and was on video making a purchase with the same stolen debit card. Because she'd just stolen somebody's wallet and was just using all of their cards.
Smart.
So they trace it back. We don't have security cameras in the store I worked in, so I don't really know exactly.
Well,
she didn't make a purchase, but I don't know.
There was still probably a transaction and showed up as declined.
True.
So I think they have a way of tracing the credit card attempts.
Yeah, so I get a subpoena, and it's kind of like jury duty. You call the number the night before or whatever to find out if you have to go be a witness.
Right.
Oh, it's been canceled. Score. Fast forward a few months.
Then you get a new one.
What? Did I get subpoenaed twice or 3 times? I could find out.
I just remember the photo lineup in my driveway.
Yeah, so...
Which probably scared the living daylights out of my neighbors at that point.
Right. But, so, I got a second subpoena. Well, I think the subpoena in the photo lineup were different occasions. I think. I don't know. It was a long time ago. I got a second subpoena.
It was probably like 9 years ago.
And then I end up having a restricted number calling me while I'm at somebody's house. And
were we doing your hair that day? What were we doing? We must have been doing your hair, because I feel like we didn't, hang out all that much back then just for funsies.
Yeah, I think we'd done my hair, and then I don't know.
We did some weird shit back then,
yeah,
too. Remember that time we made those Jell-O shots and got stoned?
Yeah. And we'd also just, sit in the driveway.
Well, yeah, because I guess I should back up and tell the whole story. So, when me and my significant other met, well, initially he was renting a trailer, but then half the outlets didn't work, so he moved out of there, and was living in his parents' motorhome that he had stored behind his work. There's all sorts of stories I could tell about that, but I
was going to say, that's a little ghetto.
So then, we had bought a bigger travel trailer, much like the one in this, well, it was newer than the one in this picture, but about that size. And we had lived in that behind his work. But, it's cold here, and winter came, and that wasn't super pleasant. And also, it kept having weird plumbing issues. So anyway, we got rid of that. And we, so Sean's one of the drivers, because Sean worked for a trucking company back then, one of the drivers had a duplex in Coeur d'Alene. And they were going, and this was, mind you, this was 10 years ago. They're
Ew.
It really was.
Ew, it was.
I mean, almost exactly.
Oh.
I mean, maybe a little, 9.5.
Oh.
9, I don't know, it was quite it might have been, we'll say it was 9.
Oh.
So, yeah, so this guy that works with him is like, yeah, we've got this duplex, my stepson lives upstairs, the last guy, we had to evict him, he wasn't paying his rent, he wasn't, it was a mess, we've been cleaning this place up, and So we went and we looked at it, and they only wanted like $550 a month. And it was, it's 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It's a duplex, and it was a little, probably price-wise, a little under market value for what it was at that time. Like, it had a carport, it didn't have a garage. But it was nice because it was a downstairs unit.
I burned myself.
Yeah, it was like the way it was set up, there was a 3-bedroom unit upstairs and then the 2-bedroom unit downstairs. So we're like, yeah, we'll take it, and so we move in there, and at first, the stepson was okay. He had a job. He liked to go to the casino. He had a band, Yeah. But, like, he was, like, you could tell he maybe used to do drugs, like, when we first moved in. Mm-hmm. But, like, he was fine.
Yeah.
Well, I think the company he worked for went out of business, if I recall. And then he didn't find a job.
And then he started making money?
Well, and I don't think his mom and stepdad charged him rent. But then he had a bunch of people staying there with him, all different people all the time, like, living there. And then, like, things started to get weird. So, like, one time I remember, and these memories are probably not in any sort of order. I remember one time a lady who was staying there was outside in the carport washing her car with Tide. I don't know if this is some kind of tweak or secret for car washing that I don't know about.
Did you see her pupils?
I don't. I mean, I know they were doing meth up there. I mean, like, he would work on his car in his socks.
A white crystalline substance known to be methamphetamine due to your training and experience?
Sure. Yeah, I mean... And then, like, another time, someone knocked on the door, our door, and I'm really bad, like, sometimes I'll just open the door. And so, like, that time, for some reason, I was like, who is it? And I think they said, it's Charlie. I'm like, I don't know any Charlie. It's Charlie, let me in. I'm like, you have the wrong house. Like, whoever you're looking for doesn't live here anymore. And I was like, if you don't leave, I'm calling the police.
Yeah.
And they left. But then anyway, we told the landlords about that, and they're like, oh, that's Charlie, he had a brain injury, like, he just was disoriented. I'm like, no. Like, he does, no, don't care.
Brain injury is holes in his brain from doing drugs?
Right, probably. So then, at one point, the upstairs neighbor was hospitalized because, funny thing, when you're type 1 diabetic, you probably shouldn't be doing meth.
No.
So they're like, yeah, like, if you see, like, people coming around, like, I want you to let us know. And I'm like, well, really, like, and I think they were selling drugs out of there because, like, there could be, like, 3 cars outside. We could go up to the Exxon, like, you know where it is, right there by the freeway, real close. We would go up to the Exxon. We would get, like, beer and cigarettes or whatever we were getting.
Yeah.
And go back home. There'd be, like, 2 different cars there than when we left. Like, I really wish, like, looking back, because, like, we'd tell the landlord these things, but, like, well, and then we had kayaks stolen, which I'm pretty sure their freaking son stole and then sold, because we found them one time when we went up the Coeur d'Alene River. But, like, the people had bought them, like, and we didn't have proof that we had owned them. Like, we didn't have serial numbers, we didn't have, stuff like that. And it's like, well, if we called the police, for one, we were in Shoshone County, so it would have been like, well, you don't have proof that they were yours, and, these people bought them fair and square. What do you want me to do about it? So, and then another time there were, like, handprints on our window, like, someone had tried, and the window sat, like, at ground level.
Yeah.
So, like, there were handprints on the window, like, someone had tried to push open the windows. Like, we always kept them locked, so it was fine. But then another time, and this was when Sean still worked for the trucking company, obviously, he would have road calls. So he'd have to go out, like, in the middle of the night. Like, especially in the winter. So he'd gone out, and I didn't, you don't sleep as good when your significant other's not at home. And you know they're going to be home at some point.
Yeah.
Like, if they're gone for the weekend or whatever, like, okay, yeah, they're gone, So he came home, and I think he came in and was like, hey, I'm home. In case, I heard noises. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, are you going to come to bed? And he's like, no, I'm kind of wide awake now. I'm going to sit in my chair for a little bit and watch TV. I'm like, okay. So I go back to bed, and they had painted the duplex a few months before. And so there was still a ladder leaned up against the side of the house. So I could see this ladder out my window.
Yeah.
Someone starts climbing the fucking ladder. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I go and get Sean. I'm like, Sean, there's someone on the ladder. And I heard noise out front. Right?
God. And it's like, what time?
Oh, I mean, like, 2, 3 in the morning. Like, this is not, like, 9 o'clock at night. Like,
not when somebody has any business on
right,
a ladder.
Right. Like, 2, 3 in the morning. Maybe 4. I don't know. When does the casino close? They'd come from the casino, apparently. Anyway.
I don't think the casino closes.
I guess not.
They stop serving booze at some point.
Okay, so...
But you can do your meth there all night long. Which
of course
they do.
You can. Yeah, they do. So, like, I'd heard noise out front. So Sean grabs a shotgun, because, you know, that's how he be. And he goes out front, and there's a girl out front. Obviously, the guy had climbed the ladder. Both of these people, according to Sean, are both very obviously tweakers.
Mm.
So the girl's, like, sneaking around, like, hiding behind the cars. And he's like, come out! What are you doing? And I should probably frame that my significant other is a large man.
Yes.
6'2", 6'3". He's probably 6'3".
Yeah.
At the time, I know he was over 250. He might have been 260, 270 at that point.
Yeah.
Like, big boy.
Yeah.
Like, big boy.
Uh-huh.
So she kind of, like, comes out and probably put her hands up. And he's like, what is going on? And, like, he's much more awake than, you know, I am at this point. I stayed in the house because, you know, I'm smart. So she's like, oh, well, like, Dave said that if we got here before him, like, we could just go in we could go in, but the house was locked. So and-so, I don't remember the guy's name, went around back to climb up the ladder. I'm like, what the fuck?
Tweaker logic.
Right. Well, in that ladder, like, I'm assuming that kitchen was the same layout as ours.
Yeah.
He was gonna climb in the window and end up in the kitchen sink. Like...
I've crawled in one of those windows before. I was a child and it was a house that my aunt and uncle had bought, though. It wasn't, like, a illegal thing.
Right. So...
But, yeah, you end up in the sink.
And, like, Sean was like, okay, well, if Dave's not here in 10 minutes, I'm calling the police. Well, Dave showed up. He's like, oh, man, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know they'd wake you up. I thought the house was unlocked. And Sean's like, fine, whatever. I so wish we'd called the cops.
Yeah.
Because I think at some point, like, if we'd called the cops enough times, and I know for a fact, due to my training and experience, that, the guy who lived upstairs has been charged with multiple drug charges and keeps getting probation because the Department of Corrections doesn't want to have to pay for his medical care. Well, and judges don't want the Department of Corrections to pay for his medical care, which is quite extensive, being a, you know, type 1 diabetic meth addict.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, step 1, clean him up off the meth.
Right. Well, and I think he's one of those people that, like, does okay if he has structure. Mm-hmm. Like, so he probably does great on probation. Mm-hmm. Like, to be honest, he probably does really good on probation because he has that structure.
But then he does really good on probation and gets off probation.
Right! And doesn't have structure.
So he picks up the pipe.
Well, and, like, because it was his mom and stepdad, they ended up selling that duplex because they couldn't keep people, like, in the other unit because he was such a train wreck. And I'm like, okay, like, I wouldn't put up with that. Like, if my kid, like, if that was going on in a duplex I owned, I'd be like, no, you cannot live here anymore. We are renting this to someone who will pay us rent.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, you lived there when I would go to my friend's house down the street and hang out with people in their early 20s when I was in my late 20s, and they made me want to punch myself in the head.
Mm-hmm. Weren't they doing meth in the bathroom?
Some of them. Yeah, I went in the bathroom once because, you know, I was drinking alcohol like a normal person, and I had to pee. And I looked on the counter, and I'm just like, that's a line of meth. Okay.
Well, weren't they just, because I remember you explained this to me one time, like, weren't they like, oh, I gotta use the bathroom. Oh, I'm going right after you. Like,
yeah, like, it wasn't too secret, but I'm just like, all right. I'm gonna wash my hands and go about my business now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and then you look back and you're like, if the cops had showed up, I could have been charged with this because I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you remember that house party that was busted and all the people had to sit, and I was almost dragged to that.
Well, and there's some people people that are fine to have as friends.
Right.
Not okay to party with.
Or the friends of the, like, the friend is okay, but then some of their friends or their friends' friends, you're like, oh dear God. I'm surrounded by misdemeanors.
And a few felonies.
Yeah. So this house party, somebody rented, I think it was a vacation rental.
Yeah.
And then
people do that.
Broadcasted all over Facebook that they were having this huge blowout party.
I'd be so pissed if that was my house and
So
someone
a
did that.
shitload of people go, and there is booze and drugs and all kinds of crazy. And so because it was on social media, I think the homeowners actually saw it or something.
Probably, and
So,
probably called the police.
Law enforcement shows up, and they end up basically detaining everybody in the house until they can check IDs and everything.
Uh-huh.
Like, I was almost, you know how pissed I would be if I was sitting on the floor, surrounded by all those assholes, at like 3 a.m. while they were running everybody's ID.
Well, and a lot of those people were underage, if I recall.
Yeah, and I would have been like 28 or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
And pissed as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like if I'd had to shoot a dude a couple nights ago, and then there was blood on my ceiling.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have to put, like, a special paint down and then paint over it.
Probably.
And I don't want to pay...
I don't deal with other people's goos.
See, and I don't care. I would just kind of be like, oh, here's some brain. Like, do they take the brain, or do you have to deal with the brain?
Is the brain evidence? I'd make them take it.
Well, so we'll just say I read about a funny crime where a guy had blown his own pinky off a little bit, and it was I found the flesh at the base of the bed. I'm like, did you take it? Did you leave it there? Like, is there just a chunk of hand flesh? Like, it wasn't...
Yeah, I have questions.
It wasn't developed into a full story.
Did we ever tell the people about the case with the magic?
No.
You remember the case with the magic, right?
Yes.
I still don't think the guy killed himself.
It was ruled suicide.
I can't.
Please tell the story.
Well, and it's vague right now. So, who ended up calling did they, like, end up calling the police when the guy didn't come back to life?
Yeah, and then they got charged with failing to report a death because it had been more than 24 hours or whatever.
Okay, so, I'll back up now that I think I remember it.
Samurai swords.
Oh yeah, the samurai swords. Okay, so these guys live together.
Like 3 of them or something?
3 of them. Well, maybe 2 are on the lease and 1 crashes on the couch.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Life's weird when you're... They were young. Like, they were like 19 to 21. They were
baby
little
adults.
babies. So, apparently... Well, and there was... The one guy came out as gay and said he liked the other guy, maybe. And then they, like... He's like, no, I wasn't mad about it. Like... And then... They go... He went somewhere and came back.
Yeah.
And, like, was that the same night and he thought the guy had just gone to bed or something? Or was it in the bathroom?
Oh, there was stuff in the bathroom.
I think it was in the bathroom.
It's like he went to get a lottery ticket or something.
Oh, yeah, he went to
stupid.
something dumb. Like, yeah, he went to buy, like, a lottery ticket. I don't know if it was a scratch or not. So he goes to do that and comes back and he sees blood in the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
And he thought, well, that's kind of weird, but maybe so-and-so cut himself. And so then I think they found him in his bedroom.
Like, I think after that he went to bed and then they found him in the morning.
Yeah, in the morning.
Yeah.
They find him in his bedroom in the morning with a wound from a samurai sword. I think it was like his stomach, too.
Yeah.
How long do you think it took him to die?
What is that, Sebiku?
Ugh.
The samurai ritual suicide?
Yeah. So then...
I need more details.
Yeah, me too. So these guys have been reading about magic. So they put a sheet over him and some crystals or something. There were crystals, right? I'm not making this up.
There were crystals.
There were crystals. And they did a spell.
Yeah, a ritual was had.
A ritual was done. There was a spell. I'm not mocking people who believe in rituals and spells. I'm just saying...
We're mocking 18-year-olds who think you can bring people back from the dead.
Like, are you so deluded that you think you can bring your dead friend back to life by putting a sheet and crystals and chanting over him?
It didn't work.
Yeah, I still don't...
Shocker.
I still don't believe it was suicide.
I ended up, I think it was like a news article or something where it was like, oh, this weird death was ruled a suicide. And I'm just kind of like, but why? Like, I think samurai seppuku'd, I think that's the word. I think they seppuku'd themselves because they'd, like, dishonored their families or something. Like,
I mean,
please don't shank yourself with samurai swords, and if your roommate shanks themselves with a samurai sword, call law enforcement.
Immediately.
If you find blood in the sink and you're not entirely sure where it came from, check on... But, like, if he... Yeah, no. The whole thing is weird.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite weird cases, I think.
What about Sunshine?
Oh, no.
We could tell them about Sunshine as our parting gift.
We could. Well, Idaho court records are very public.
They are.
So public.
So very public.
So, we come across a case. And it's a,
Was it a crime against humanity?
Nature.
Crime against nature.
I don't remember if it was that. It had to have been, though.
Right,
because I don't think Idaho has any other statute for...
No, because crimes against nature are that and...
non-consensual butt stuff.
Non-consensual butt stuff.
Yeah. Idaho's a weird place.
Yeah, that code was weird to read.
So, a poor FedEx man is delivering a package.
An actual parcel.
An actual parcel. Not his package.
No.
Probably an Amazon order. Probably for anal lube.
And he gets out of his truck.
He gets out of his truck.
And he sees
a man putting his penis in what he said was a goat. Not a goat.
It was a sheep.
It was a sheep. The sheep was named Sunshine.
Sunshine the sheep.
And this man was like 55, 56 years old. I would guarantee you that's not the first sheep he's had his way with.
The FedEx man did not show up on the initial encounter.
No.
The maiden voyage, if you will.
No.
No. We don't really...
the poor FedEx guy I'm sure he called his dispatcher, was like, what the fuck do I do? Like, I would feel violated if I just saw someone doing nasty things to an animal.
John, I was just delivering this package, and there was this guy fucking a sheep. What do we do? Like...
Well, and I think he got a picture of it, which, I mean, props to him. Like,
weren't the guy's pants, like, around his ankles? Like,
yes.
In broad-ass daylight?
And he's married.
Oh, he has...
How would you want to be married to that guy?
Well, you'd think she'd know he does that. Because he's clearly not secretive about it if he's doing it in broad-ass daylight out in the open where the FedEx guy can see him.
Maybe she was at work or something.
And he forgot he'd ordered anal lube on Amazon with free 2-day shipping?
I don't know.
Amazon, sponsor us.
We tell really terrible stories.
We have Prime.
We do have Prime. Gets us in trouble on a really regular basis.
Yeah, so I don't...
Oh.
We don't know what has happened with Sunshine because...
What's the status of the lady who killed her newborn?
I think she's one of those waiting on a jury trial.
So she's just waiting on a jury trial.
Because COVID in Idaho. Did you read the order today?
Yeah, that math that was in it confused me.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on, but... Basically,
I think it was what they were doing before that never worked because the numbers were too high.
Right.
Like, I think they were able to have, like, one jury trial.
At the fairgrounds with people spaced out really far?
Well, that was where I think they maybe did selection that way. And then for the trial, they used one of the big courtrooms and had the jury spread out.
I thought they were actually taking, like, I heard rumor of them taking, like, equipment out there, though.
Well, they have to, for jury selection, they have to record when they question the jurors and stuff about, you know.
I feel like I saw a picture in a news article or something.
You probably did.
Like, tape squares and a makeshift bench.
Probably.
And the whole thing.
Because they have to record all of that.
Yeah.
For appeals and such.
And then they were, like, gonna have jury trials after not having jury trials for how many months?
They stopped in, like...
May?
I think they stopped in March or April.
So, they were gonna do them, and then it was like, no! Because Idaho went ham on the Rona.
We did.
Real bad.
I mean, I still haven't had it, but that's not really the point, I guess.
I'm rooting for you, friend. Stay strong. Everybody around you is getting
Pretty
it and
much.
dropping.
Pretty much. You got it.
Mm-hmm.
Our other coworker got it.
I mean, I got it so long ago, back in October.
My parents got it. My coworker got it and thinks she had a false positive. I think she really had it like 2 weeks before she was tested.
Because you can test positive for like 3 months after having it, sometimes longer, because it's a stupid fucking virus. Yeah. But then they did an order where it was like, no jury trials, and we'll discuss it again before March 1st, 2021, and that was like the end of last year. So it's like, oh, congratulations.
I mean, at least they're addressing it before, February 28th.
Yeah. So then, confusing, they're gonna do it, they're not, I don't know. But...
Well, and I haven't seen, because I just quit following it. And I think, I don't know, I don't want to be one of these people, but I do think once the election was over that we kind of quit hyping it as much.
Yeah.
I mean, you still, but now all the news is about getting vaccinated. It's not about the, insane numbers and people dying and...
But we did move back up to stage 3 here.
Oh, fancy.
Which is a good thing. We want to get to stage 4 and then out of it.
Right.
In the Rebound Idaho plan.
Right.
So bars are opening again for full
bar activity.
So we'll see if the numbers that have dropped go back up. We are past the holidays though, and I think that was a big chunk of it.
Yeah, I think,
Because if you saw the pictures of the airports, they were packed.
Yeah.
And
I mean, at least you have to wear a mask in the airport.
Whether you like
on the plane.
Whether you like Biden or not, I do like that between him and the CDC, it's like required to wear a mask on all public transportation from planes and trains and buses or automobiles. But it's not up to the airline anymore, where it kind of was up to the individual airport for a policy and then the airlines and stuff. Now it's fuck you, wear a mask on the plane.
Yeah. Which has not killed anyone.
Believe it or not.
You're not breathing in your own carbon monoxide.
Fuck. I don't remember who that moron was.
You don't. Your body does not breathe out carbon monoxide. No. Just for the record.
It'd be real weird if we did.
The byproduct of your breathing is carbon dioxide that you breathe out.
Different compound.
Yes.
Somebody commented on Facebook that breathing in your own carbon monoxide is bad for you. I'm like, no, breathing in all carbon monoxide is bad for you.
Right, and you don't make it.
No.
Your faulty old furnace that was converted from coal to natural gas, that's what makes the carbon monoxide and almost tries to kill your whole family.
Yeah.
I don't know that from experience or anything. But I do. So anyway.
Was this in Wyoming?
Yeah.
Of course it was.
Yes.
My parents... You had a coal furnace in Wyoming?
Well, it had been coal and someone had... Anyway, converted it to natural gas.
We lived in Wyoming because my dad worked for coal mining, so yeah.
So it was a very old apparatus. And my dad and mom had both had headaches and I think I think it was the first winter we were there in that house. And we'd moved in the summer, so you don't use the heater really. And then, when the windows are closed and you're using the heater. And so somehow my mom is a religious woman, so she attributes, God for making the house smell like natural gas. Because if she hadn't smelled gas, she wouldn't have called the power company. And, we probably all would have died in our sleep. So anyway, it was a miracle.
Yes. Thank you, Mormon cod.
I mean, I think there probably was some natural gas leaking somewhere, too.
Right.
Because it was an old, built in, 1920, 1930. It was an old house. And it was a cool old house. But, so anyway, we had to have a new furnace put in.
That wouldn't try to kill you.
Right. Right. So, I remember it was winter, and my mom was like, okay, obviously she got us out of the house because of the natural gas.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where we went. We had to have gone somewhere because it was cold. But, you do not breathe out carbon monoxide, people.
And, what is it? Have you seen that Facebook post and stuff where people call it dihydrogen monoxide, and people are like, chemicals are bad!
You're like, that's water, bitch.
I'm like, please be fake. I cannot believe you exist.
Ugh.
But these people do exist.
Yes, they do.
The stupid.
Well, we've recorded for an hour and 11 minutes.
I think that is
I
sufficient.
feel like if you edit, you can get this down to a nice 45.
Yeah, I mean, I probably won't edit that much
Or
because
an
I'm
hour.
a lazy asshole, but yeah. Yeah. And now whoever Devin's coworker is that keeps whining for more podcasts can shut up for a little bit. I think his name is Matt. I don't remember. If your name is Matt, hi Matt. Here you go.
Our one fan.
We recorded a thing.
Did Bryce say there are other people who wanted our podcast too?
I think there's been a few people.
Okay.
I know our other podcast, somebody messaged him that he knows and said, I'm the same, blah, and that was great, or whatever, and to tell you or whoever. Anyway, yeah, we're
So
gonna...
does Bry have a Mormon friend I don't know about? Or a formerly Mormon friend I don't know about?
I don't know who it was. I'd have to look.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it was like, who's that? I don't know. Yeah. But,
Interesting.
yeah. Anyway.
Our podcast might take off someday.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
If we actually record.
Well, okay, so... Did you listen to the latest Latter-day Lesbian episode?
I did not.
Maybe not the latest. It was a couple episodes ago. They had Leave It in Dan on.
Oh, good.
You know about Leave It in Dan?
Yes.
Okay, so Leave It in Dan's on.
Uh-huh.
He records a podcast with his sister, who were both out of the Mormon church. Which I did not know Leave It in Dan was an ex-Mormon, but he is.
Huh.
So, they record a podcast. They do it in seasons.
Ah.
So they'll record for like a day.
Ah. And then break it up into
Yeah.
chunks.
Yeah.
I think I like that.
I feel like maybe that's a format we could...
Mm-hmm. Except if we do this thing
Committing to do weekly is hard.
It is. But if we do this thing where we start drinking and then we record for longer, we're going to have to drink more. So we'll have to, like, outline our topics.
Right,
To do
very well.
the less ridiculous things in the beginning.
Uh-huh.
And then the last one of the day can just be one of us saying butt fucker and the other one giggling like a 5-year-old boy.
Balls.
Yeah. Balls, balls are funny. See what happens?
Yes.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not drunk because I had, one shot of vodka.
Yeah.
But I'll sleep better.
I had some gin because I don't measure because I ain't no bitch.
Next time we go to the Valley, I am going to buy some of that gin, though.
It's so good.
Because I was mixing that just with, like, club soda in the summer. And I bet if I, like, measured out a shot, like, it would just be nice and refreshing in a thing of club soda. Yeah. Beefeater strawberry gin. Highly recommended. Can't buy it at the local liquor stores, though. We gotta go freaking Washington.
Well, because in Idaho we have state-run liquor dispensaries that have, like,
we
7
should
options.
tell the people about our masks.
Ha, 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 ha.
I really thought we were done.
Yeah,
but-
no, we're not done.
We're not
Just
done.
kidding. Bonus content.
So, we both have Cricut machines.
Because we needed them.
Yes. We for sure needed at least one, but we each have one now.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, there's a project my mom needs me to make. And it's for Valentine's Day, so I should probably do that.
Probably.
Anyway, it's a project for the weekend. So, we made masks. Well, we bought masks. And then we put heat transfer vinyl words on them.
Yes, we did.
They say the mask goes over your nose. Because here's the thing, like, if someone, like, really, like, I don't care. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't wear a mask.
Right.
But if you're going to wear one and have it just cover your mouth or wear it on your chin, like, why are you bothering?
You're
like,
just a douche face.
well, just have a spine. Like,
right.
my significant other is somewhat of the anti-mask variety. And he'll literally just tell the people in Walmart, no, they don't stop you. Like,
right.
have a spine. Like,
right.
if you don't think you need to wear a mask, like, I think you're stupid.
Right.
But that's on you. But, like, have a spine about it.
Right. Don't think you're so fucking
Right.
cool because you have your nose out.
Right.
Well,
like,
if your nose is out, you won't breathe in your own carbon monoxide.
Right.
It's probably the same person.
Probably. So, we made masks that say the mask goes over your nose.
And I wasn't wearing it in public, really, because I just don't want confrontation. Because the longer the pandemic went on, the less and less tolerance I have for things. And quite frankly, if somebody were to make a comment to me about wearing a mask, I don't know what I would say or do.
Right.
Because I'm at that point where I don't really have any give a fuck left, and I don't know how much restraint I have.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of like, if you don't want to wear one, that's fine, but stay the fuck away from me. And
right.
I'm gonna wear one because I'm a rule follower, plain and simple.
Well, and it's not giving up your rights and giving into tyranny and being a slave if you wear a mask.
No.
They're not going to take away your guns and instantly turn you into a communist by butt-fucking you with the communist dildo if you put a mask on.
You sure they're not going to jump out of the TV and butt fuck us?
They might. Explicit content warning. I might
be a little late for that.
I think our things are both labeled as explicit.
They should be, because...
Yeah, we say bad words.
Yeah, we like the bad words.
So we're in Washington, which is much more...
People actually wear their masks in Washington.
One, it's more liberal.
Right.
But they also wear their masks, and they don't throw little baby fits about it out front of the health district.
Right.
And barbecue them.
Right.
But, so I have gotten to the point where now I wear my mask that says the mask goes over your nose. I wear it at work.
I've been wearing mine at work, too, because it's super, it's really, of all the masks, it's pretty breathable.
Yeah.
It's comfortable, it's soft.
I wear it in public. So I wore it in Washington at the Walmart of booze.
Total Wine and More.
Minus their taxes makes me very happy.
They have all the things. And, if you're just buying wine, it's just their high sales tax, but they have additional liquor taxes on hard liquor or hard alcohol.
But they have the things you can't get other places, so you just give up and pay it.
Yeah, you just pay it when you really want the strawberry gin.
So there they straight, if you take your mask off of your nose or have it on your chin, they will
An employee will come tell you to put your mask on properly.
Right, they're not little whiny babies, people here who are you should wear your mask. Okay, don't though. And so, I don't know, 3 or 4 employees complimented my mask.
Yes, they did.
They either say it's awesome or I like your mask because they understand.
Well, and here's the thing, people, don't be mean to retail workers. They're retail workers. They're there doing a job. They don't have it, I guess we all have choice. They could maybe get a different job where they don't have to deal with the public. But, really, who can change jobs right now?
Yeah.
Unless one just happens to maybe fall in your lap and...
What?
Anyway.
What? Where?
I digress. But, most people are not in a position right now to change jobs.
Right.
So, be nice to retail workers.
Well, and the lady that asked you to put your mask on isn't the one that made it a store policy or a state policy or a county policy.
Correct. She's just doing her job. Don't shoot the messenger.
Right. Stop being dicks to retail workers in general. Because you're not getting food they can spit in. So it's just rude.
Oh, remember that chatty guy at Walmart?
Poor guy needs a friend.
He does need a friend, but it's not going to be me.
No. I don't...
Just needed my deli food. They should not let him work in the deli.
They probably let him work in the deli so he gets social interaction.
Yeah, probably so he can talk to people. He probably annoys all his coworkers.
Probably. I feel bad, but I don't, but I do.
Can't be his friend. He calls California Cali.
Yeah, gross. And he's not a 18-year-old girl.
Right.
Yeah, he's a grown-ass
older
man.
than us.
Yeah. Don't say Cali. Thanks.
Yeah.
Welcome to my TED Talk or whatever people say. I don't really know.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Should we wrap this bitch up for real now?
I think we're actually done now. That was only 9 more minutes, so it's fine.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Follow us on the things. Go see our Etsy shop.
Yeah. I don't know if you can find a link to it, but maybe I'll add one somewhere. Because that's good to do.
We suck at this.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We think we're funny.
We do this for our own amusement, not for yours.
Also, so that we can look back in the years to come and be like, remember when we lived in the trailer park?
Yeah, when we win the lottery or the economy collapses and we can afford to buy houses. Because if the economy collapses, I'll still have work.
Right?
Might not get raises for a while, but still have work.
Yeah, because thanks to the industry we work in, there's always work.
Yep, it's never going away.
Unless you're actually bad at your job and get fired.
Toodaloo, motherfuckers.
Okay, bye.